Get ready with me while I talk about how to know if he is the right man for you. This is my bare face without any makeup on, and the look we're going for today is bridal makeup. This is our inspiration. Okay, we're going to start with base. I already put my skincare on. I put on my serum, my eye cream, and the moisturizer. I'm going to put my base. I'm using Makeup Revolution foundation stick in the shade F7. We're not gonna go very heavy on the foundation. I think bridal makeup should not be really thick because you still need to look like yourself. That is my preference. How to know if he's the right one for you. The very first thing on the list is he has the provider mentality. Why do I stress this so much? It is because that is literally their God-given responsibility on this earth for women, because if they don't provide, what is the point of them? Us girlies, we're always provided for by our father. Nowadays, we can provide for ourselves as well. If he asks to do 50-50 with you, I suggest you run the other direction as quickly as you can. Helping a man financially will literally handicap him because now he's less masculine. And if you keep doing that, it's going to be so comfortable to ask you for help financially. And in this way, you're not actually helping him to develop as a man, as a provider. You might think that helping him is a generous gesture or like a kind gesture for your man, but if you're helping him financially, that should not be your man. Get this, when a man is not financially stable but is looking to be in a relationship, he doesn't have his priorities straight. So if he doesn't know what to prioritize in his life, imagine if you actually end up marrying him, how is he going to prioritize his life and his family? If right now he's not financially stable and is already looking to marry, he's not in the right mind. For my Muslim girls, you should know about nafkah, and that is your husband's responsibility to provide for you. This means he needs to provide all the necessities for you to survive, like food, shelter, education, and your medical needs. But if he's really struggling and you decide to help him, you are literally pushing him to sin. Like for example, you are pregnant and you should be giving birth. There shouldn't be no way out because you need to give birth, right? There's nothing he can do to help you. So it's like it's a must for him to provide the basic necessities. So this is something like really significant that should be learned. And I'm very grateful that I learned this in the marriage course because I did not know this before. And a lot of women nowadays are being way too kind, but I'm convinced it's because they haven't gotten this knowledge before. For my non-Malaysian girlies, marriage course is mandatory for Malay Muslims. It doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man, you have to attend this marriage course. They will teach you about the responsibilities of a wife and a husband. So he just needs to have the provider mindset for you to even consider him to be your husband. I hear a lot of Dusties talking about how the woman should struggle with him at his lowest for her to be able to have a relationship with him in the long run. So that is not the correct mindset whatsoever. He's already telling you that he does not love you. He's willing to see you struggle and be comfortable with it because that is supposed to be the way for him to even be loyal to you. When you hear a man say this, run the other way. I'm so glad that nowadays there are other Dusties supporting the Dust, so now they're really brave to speak their truth. And I think the only right way is for us to also speak our truth. When you first get to know someone, just be upfront about what you expect from him. Second point, he should not be a mama's boy. If you've seen this news, that means the mom didn't really raise the boy right. And now he thinks that, oh, mother should come first no matter what. These dudes are confused. If a dude ever tells you that he's going to prioritize his mom over his wife, he's not yet fully grown. And if you do continue a relationship with him, you're going to finish his mom's job at raising him. You can ask this question to him. What does the priority rank look like? His wife, his mom, or his kids? If he says mom first, block him right away. Because after he marries, he is fully responsible for his wife and his wife is the priority. He should be discussing everything with his wife, not his mom. He shouldn't be putting his wife second to his mom because he has a whole family that is under his responsibility. Marriage is nothing casual. It is a really important decision to make because it will change the whole trajectory of your life afterward. What man you decide to be your husband will make or break your life. So choose carefully It doesn't matter if everyone is telling you, you're being too picky, you're gonna end up alone, you're gonna end up as a cat lady. No, do not listen to them, because you have to be picky. You need to be picky. Do not let them gaslight you into thinking that you're going to be miserable if you end up single. No, a lot of women, married women, wish they're single rather than being in a struggle relationship with a grown man. A lot of dudes would also counter by saying, but he's your husband, you have to listen to him, you have to obey him. Okay, we do not obey anyone. The only one we obey is Allah, God himself. To a certain extent, yes, we have to listen to our husband as long as it's still halal. It's not like we have to listen to him no matter what. Some dudes have it so wrong. They do not understand the concept at all. So they would literally play God and expect the woman to do everything he says, even though it falls into forbidden acts. So yes, we have to listen to our husband. That's why you have to be very picky who you end up listening to. There are men who literally have this fantasy of trapping his wife. Like, once you're married, you cannot go out, you have to wear this, you have to wear that. You have an ego problem. Your husband should uplift you, not make you feel less than. It's like these men who approach women with full face makeup on and then tell the women to their face that they do not prefer women who wear makeup. Make it make sense. If you do not like women who wear makeup, why did you even approach her in the first place? Just understand that when you tell a man that you expect him to provide, if he has issues with that, that's him telling you that he's not going to be a good husband. So why even continue the conversation? Literally end it. Act really, really disinterested from this point on. And when he asks you what's wrong, just say, can you tell me what time it is? And keep asking what time it is until he gets the hint. I know they don't really get hints, but eventually when you act bored and always asking about the time, he's gonna get it. And if he dares ask the dusty question, what do you bring to the table on that date? Just say, I want to bring this conversation to an end because it's getting dusty. Shira 7. I had a TikTok video that blew up because people thought it was a controversial take. It was literally me reading out a quote from a book by Shira 7. And it basically said, if a dude ever asks this dumb question, actually no woman should ask this question either, because it's already setting the tone that you're expecting a transactional relationship. Basically what I said in that video was, if you ask this, say you're going to bring another man who won't ask dumb questions. What would my husband say? A sign that that man is the right one for you.
Well, for the woman to know that the man is the right one for her, first of all, the woman needs to make sure that the guy treats her properly. Does he provide for her? Good. Does he ask for anything in return? Bad. No. Our job as the guys, we need to protect, provide, and cherish our women. And to not expect anything back. Because if we expect anything back, then that would put stress on her, that would lessen her natural beauty. Also, by cherishing the woman, she will naturally, of course, cherish you back. The woman multiplies.
We're reciprocators. Whatever you give, you get back, but multiplied.
Yeah, the woman multiplies the value that the man puts into her. Mm-hmm. Not with money necessarily, mm-hmm. but with love and with care and with trust. Mm-hmm. And my wife is my source of happiness. Just be a Muslim man. Just be a proper Muslim man. And you should be good. Mm-hmm. And of course, giving her gifts, taking her on dates from time to time, surprising her with even the smallest flower can make a huge difference.
That's true, because that means he thought of you when he's out. Even that little gesture, it can mean a lot. It can make your day way better. And it shows that he cares, right?
And also for the guys, when you hurt your woman, intentionally, unintentionally, when you hurt her, you hurt yourself more than you think, and you won't be good the entire day until she stops being mad at you.
That goes back to the reciprocating. So yes. When a man gives something negative to the woman, he's going to get that negative energy back tenfold. So it all depends on the dude. Does he want to shower her with positive energy or negative? And he's going to get back the same amount or more. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for the very, very meaningful contribution. That's a very good point. So you hear it from the man, the myth, the legend himself.
The legend 27.
The legend. The man, the legend. You're not a myth. You're real. So this kind of man, they exist. They're not just a myth. Do they say? This is proof that he is real. So whenever you talk about these things, and especially if you talk about it online, you're going to hear a lot of dusties that will tell you that you're being delusional, you're just thinking about fairy tales and movies, whatever, K-drama. No, they're saying that because it's them who cannot reach that potential and they cannot imagine being a man like that. But I'm telling you, they exist. Maybe just not online. You're probably not gonna find your dream husband online because usually the quality men are not gonna waste their time on dating apps, for example, or online commenting under every woman's post, liking every woman's post. No, you're not gonna find that man online. And I'm just gonna say it right now, the provider type don't usually worry about what picture to post on Instagram and what outfit to wear to look good on their Insta post. No, avoid dating apps, avoid it altogether. Don't even think about going on there and thinking you're going to find something quality. And if you do, maybe it's a very rare case, and nowadays that's not why dudes are online. There are better ways, because I'm telling you, if you're going on dating apps and expect you're gonna find your dream husband, I'm going to turn you off right now. Because just imagine what they see on, what the dudes see on a dating app. It's going to be just faces, a bunch of faces online, and you're just another girl that he swiped right or left. I don't know how it works, but you're just another girl on there, and all he did was send you a text. Literally, that's the lowest effort anyone can ask for. If you actually go to a nice place where the providers would go, in the real world, outside in the physical world where you can touch grass, they yeah, they need to actually put the effort. Like, even introverts need to get out of the comfort zone to go and approach you. So that already means a lot. It's a whole different level when you meet men in the real world and not just online. There's nothing to brag about if you were contacted by a dude because he texted you, "Hey, what's up?" There's nothing to be proud of. And you're going to tell your kids, "Oh, I met your dad on a dating app and our first message was, hey, what's up?"
What's up, girl?
No.
Hey, what up?
No, but yeah, that's what you're gonna get. That's what you're gonna hear online a lot. So please avoid it at all costs.
Let's get a cup of coffee.
That's actually a good point. On to my next point. He will actually put effort from the start. You're not gonna say, "I'm just gonna bring you to a mama, I'm just gonna bring you to a coffee, sip on some bean juice on the first date because I don't know you, you don't know me, maybe this thing will not work out, so I'm not gonna waste my money on you." That's already a sign that he doesn't actually like you. He's just there because you are available and you agreed to a coffee date. Dudes who ask you to go out on coffee dates or cheap dates, free dates, like walk in a beach, walk in a park, literally they have low budget already. And you are very replaceable because it's so cheap to take you out. So you can do the same thing with 10 other girls the same day or the same week. You're more than that. You're worth more than a coffee date. Imagine your job pays you like $200 per hour and you're doing this willingly. Like, you're getting ready for hours, choosing an outfit to go out on a coffee date, a park date with a dude who doesn't even like you that much. Girl, stop wasting your time. About putting effort. Some dudes are really smart and they thought they had it all figured out by love bombing you. So when you see a man love bombing you from the first date, for example, he has a trick up his sleeve. What he's trying to do is get you emotionally hooked. Because women, we fall in love with words, right? We have to unlearn that. You have to not get emotionally hooked by his love bomb in the beginning and just act nonchalant or act unfazed by whatever love bombing he's doing, and see if he stays consistent for like 3 months, let's say. If you see it fade significantly, that means it was just a performance for him to get you hooked emotionally, to get you wrapped around his finger so you won't leave, even though he cheats, for example. So no, this is not the right man. Love bombing is never a good sign, especially in the beginning, and it's not consistent. No, if he love bombs you but he is consistent throughout the period you're dating him, then maybe that's okay. But people eventually show you their true self. He should not be approaching you like, I'm gonna get to know you because I want to get married like next week. No, this one is showing a really big red flag. He's giving the message like he is scared we're going to find out something horrible about him, that he wants to trap you as soon as possible. So going too fast is not a good sign either. He needs to be serious about you, yes, but not too fast. It also will make you uncomfortable because you need to take time to know someone, right? So if he's pushing it like that, it's very suspicious. I would really recommend against dating any dude like that. My next point is, you need to feel hurt and your emotions need to be validated by this man. If he's always dismissing you and belittling your emotions and feelings, that really shows that he doesn't really care about you, and it's going to be like that or even worse, 10 times worse in marriage. So you need to feel like you are seen in the relationship, because if not, it's going to be very tiring eventually. Do not trust words, because anyone can say literally anything. I can say anything too. I can make it sound very, very promising, like what leaders of countries do, right? They just give fake promises that sounds very achievable, but then not do it in the end. So do not trust words. Look at their actions. Whenever they say something that sounds really too good to be true, it probably is. Do not react in any way until they prove it by action. If they're saying that they're going to give you gifts, buy you jewelry, send you cash, whatever, don't trust it until it's done. And if they're really keen on doing that, just tell them, okay, we'll do it now then. I want it now. Let's celebrate my birthday today. I know it's in 2 weeks, but let's celebrate it today. If he's really that keen on buying you gifts and giving you money on everything, and if they're serious about it, they wouldn't have a problem with it. Stop trying to get validation from men, because the only validation you need is from yourself. If you're really hungry for validation, you can literally give a prompt to ChatGPT and tell it to glaze you, tell you something nice, give a really sweet good morning text. You don't need that from a man. Don't risk your mental health just because you need good morning text from a dude. It's not worth it. Okay, my next point. He apologizes. I know it seems so minuscule, but it's going to surprise you how very few men are willing to apologize. A lot of them have way too big of an ego that's also fragile. Try to get into a situation where it would require him to apologize to you. I know it's a bit manipulative, but try to get him in the situation and just see if he's willing to apologize for his mistakes. He doesn't need to know that this was all planned. But if he did find out, he shouldn't be mad about it, because why would he, right? He should pass the test, unless he didn't. And I always tell girlies to literally push your man to the edge. Push him to the edge and see how he reacts under stressful situations, because it's not going to always be happy-go-lucky, everything works out well all the time, even after marriage. So you need to see what kind of man are you going to marry, and how would he react. Is he violent? Would he cuss you out? You need to know this. This brings me to my next point. If he curses at you or curses at all, that is already a sign that he's going to be an abuser. I know it sounds harsh and it's probably a bit too premature to determine this, but let me tell you, it never ends well. If a man is so comfortable to say curse words around you, call you names, imagine what kind of father he would be. Even in Islam, you're not even supposed to curse. If he ever calls you names, I would suggest you just move on to the next. It's not worth it. I understand that this habit can stem from listening to vulgar songs or looking at vulgar content. Eventually, they need to stop. Or you can discuss this already with them. If you want to be more forgiving, you can discuss this with them early on in your dating period and see if he's willing to change. And the right man will be willing to change if it makes sense what you're asking him to do. Another question you can ask on your date is, why are you pursuing marriage? If his answer is more towards him wanting to be a husband, then that is a good sign. But if he's describing all the benefit of having a wife, like, oh, I want someone to cook for me, I want someone to look after the kids, I want someone to look after the home, but also work and do 50-50 with me, you can forget the whole day. Literally just leave. Don't even say anything. It needs to be coming from a place where he wants to give something, in the mentality of giving to his woman, providing for his woman, not take. I need you to understand that when you can provide for yourself, you really do not need a man if you cannot do better than what you already do for yourself. Like, you already treat yourself so well, why would you downgrade your life by marrying a man who wants to struggle with you? Like, he's expecting you to help him survive. Why would you pursue a relationship with someone like that? I think that's a form of self-harm. The next sign that he's the right man for you is he does not have girlfriends. I'm telling you right now, no matter what they say about, oh, but it's just platonic, no. Have you seen all the cases of best friends ending up marrying each other? Yeah, it's because they cannot be friends. There's always going to be a third thing in the middle, Satan basically, that's going to lure them into doing or feeling things they shouldn't be feeling. If you want to strengthen this belief that they shouldn't be having, nor should you, by the way, nor should you. You shouldn't have opposite gender friends because it just doesn't work like that. Just look at your parents. Do they have a girlfriend that they always call or consult with to make their decision in marriage? No. So it doesn't make sense for a dude to have an opposite gender friend unless he's actually attracted to her. And you shouldn't either, because you know how men think. The thing is, men don't even trust other men. A lot of time in marriage, the husband will not want their wife to go out with a dude alone because it just cannot work. And eventually they will also develop this thinking. So let's just present your maturity by already expecting them to not have opposite gender friends. You shouldn't be trusting dudes like that anyway. Get you some girlfriends who you can do girly things with, and eventually you can have a soft life doing girly things. Why need a dude? My next point is, if he brings out the softness in you, that is a really good sign, because now you are leaning more into your feminine energy, feminine state, because he is showing up in his masculinity. When there is a balance of masculine and feminine energy, you guys will actually thrive, because now you're in your natural state and he is in his natural state. You're probably going to start to like pink again. That's how you know. You probably want to cook for him, you want to learn how to cook at least, you'd want to decorate the house. So it's always nice to live a soft life. You need to rest too. Eventually you would want to quit your 9-to-5 job because you're going to be a mom and you want to raise your kids. A lot of men almost got it right by saying, I would expect my wife to be a stay-at-home mom, blah blah blah. Okay, almost there, but it shouldn't be a requirement. If she wants to work for whatever reason, it could be because she doesn't trust him that much. If this is the case, you have to ask yourself, why don't you trust him enough to be okay with being a stay-at-home mom? Why do you feel the need to have a job? You need to ask yourself that too. It's probably because he doesn't provide enough security. So do not judge a woman who wants to still work a 9-to-5 or whatever, because there are a lot of cases, and this can come from stories from your grandmothers, your mother, who had no choice but to stay at home, but then once they're betrayed, they have no way out. It's good if the man is aware of this. Like, he can aim to make you a stay-at-home mom or wife, but also do not dismiss the option for you to work. If he is giving you like a 10,000 month allowance and you're fully covered, then that's a different story. If you want to stay at home, then I think that's very safe. But use that money to build something. Like, you need to use that money to reinvest in yourself and build something for yourself. Don't just use the money to buy meaningless stuff like handbags and all those materialistic things that won't give you anything, that won't bring value to you. Instead, invest in something, build something, and multiply that money. A little story time for my nikah. It was my sister who did my makeup. I didn't pay any MUA, and she practiced on my face 2 days before my nikah, and it turned out so perfect. I'm really thankful for her doing my makeup, and she always motivates me to do my own makeup and do it nicely, you know. One hack I would give you: if you're used to doing one makeup look and it doesn't work because you're always attracting dust, what if you try experimenting and changing up your look? Like, try some Korean makeup or try some Latina makeup. Just change it up and see what kind of man you attract. But keep in mind, go to the places where providers go. Don't go where the dusties are, because dusties are going to get attracted to anything breathing. If you get catcalled, you shouldn't be proud of that. Instead, you have to feel insulted that a dude has the audacity to call you out from across the street like that. It's literally disrespectful. And men with money are not going to act dumb like that. I see a lot of women getting confused. They feel like they're all that just because some dust on the street catcalled them. Girl, no. That's the opposite of validation. That means you're doing something wrong, because a rich man would never. One thing to bear in mind: if you're already living a lifestyle that is quite lavish, the thing is, you can provide for yourself. Yes, that's great. But if you decide to settle with a man who is not earning that much and cannot provide that lifestyle for you, you should not put the blame on him. It's you who is the one to blame, because you literally are settling with something less than. If you already treat yourself so well, why would you want to be with someone who cannot treat you as well? You need to think of your lifestyle after marrying the man. If you see that your life is going to get worse, then why would you do that to yourself? If you see a brighter future and more opportunity, then maybe it is worthwhile, because men are not thinking you're going to marry a girl just because they love her. There's something that they get from it. You have to think about, what can I get, you know? You yourself need to know, how's your life going to change after marrying this man. My last point is, he needs to like you a little bit more than you like him. Even if you like him more, don't show it too much, especially in the beginning, because then they're going to think that they're the prize, so they're going to stop working to impress you. The man needs to see you as his dream woman and is willing to sacrifice a lot for you. Then that is the right man. This take might be controversial to some, but I do not see why it should be. Us women, we're known to not really be emotionally stable all the time. We have mood swings, we have period, and it's literally a hormonal thing. We have bursts of emotions that we can't even understand. Like, I would cry for no reason. I would cry because I see a spider crawling alone in a room. If a man does not like you as much as he should, he would get annoyed with your tantrums, with your craziness, with your emotional imbalance. He doesn't want to deal with that. They need to like you enough for them to feel the need to be responsible and act the part. A dude who doesn't like you would put their hand out when it's time to pay rent because they think you're not worth spending rent on. That is so pathetic. Like, please don't put yourself in that situation, because there's nothing worse. You can literally live on your own terms, instead of living with a man who's basically like your roommate, because you need to pay for your food, for rent. So choose wisely. I'm on to the final touches. This setting powder, my aunt gifted it to me. She bought it in Thailand. Do you see the difference? Wow. I think that's quite good. It's not too drying. That's why I like this one. There's some sheen to it still. Okay, let's just put it all over here before we put highlight on. That mattified my face so much. Wow, I never seen it on camera like this. I'm going to use Cosmic Eyes eyeshadow palette by Dazzle Me. This one, my mother gifted it to me. I'm just gonna use my thingy, and I'm going to use this shade over here because it looked like the reference. Ooh, you see? It's so glowy. Ooh, I like that. Okay, I'm going to go a bit heavier on the contour because she's going quite heavy on the contour. Okay, that's more like it. I'm not gonna use eyeliner, I'm gonna use just black eyeshadow because it's not bold on her. I'm going to use it here to lift it up. She also darkened this area. I'm going to use some black eyeshadow to darken this part. My very last point also has to do with self-growth and self-love. When I met my husband, I was at my best state, I would say, because I was really okay with anything. I was accepting people for who they are. I would just accept how they show up and just decide on how to continue from there. So if I think they're quite a horrible person, I would just accept that they're a horrible person and move on. If I do not get treated how I feel I deserve to be treated, I would just acknowledge that this might be a manifestation of my past self, where I was probably not at the best state and was not really thinking the right things, and just let it pass. I do not have to take it personally and focus on that one occurrence. I was really okay with being alone. I was in a whole different continent. I was happy with myself, and I know that everything I need is within me. If I decide I want something, came from my thought. The fact that I had that thought sparked inside my brain already shows that I am aligned with that life. I know that it's possible. That's why I even dream of having a life that I wanted back then. And I was not searching. I was not searching for a husband or searching for a man whatsoever at that point. I was just living my life. When you're vibrating at a certain frequency, you will attract people that are also vibrating on the same frequency. We are humans and we cannot always be at our best state, and it fluctuates, right? So I realized later on that no wonder I met such a great man, because I was in such a great state when I met him. I'm now going to have dinner with my husband. So this is the final look. Let me pose like her. I really like this look actually. It's a bit bolder, but I think it's a slay. If you made it till the end, give this video a like. If you got anything beneficial from this video, if you learned anything that you can apply in your life to attract better things, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more. If you want any advice or have any story that you want to share with me and get my advice, you can click the link in my bio. That is my current website that I just published, and you can ask me anything. If it's about relationships, self-growth, self-love, whatever it is. I hope I gave you some clarity about your relationship, what you want for yourself and what you want in a man for you to make him your husband, and I'll see you in my next video.
Oh, so chante, my wife. So cute.